So XRP, Ripple coin are currently dominating the crypto market now in terms of adoption and especially with worldwide banks. Now, as you can see here, this is a video of Brad Garlinghouse, who is a CEO of Ripple. And in this interview, he does talk about the settlement, and the briefing schedule was for November the 9th, which was yesterday. And we are going to be having a look at what he exactly says and whether or not there is a settlement. But first, let's have a look at this post over here. As you can see, it says that Google identifies XRP as world bridge currency. So if you type world bridge currency on Google, the first search result it comes up with is XRP, and we have an article that was posted on the 28th of August this year, and this is from Technopedia. And again, if we keep scrolling down, you can see here that we have Ripple as the main crypto coin. It also says that Forbes have had multiple articles where it uses the word XRP and crypto gold rush, meaning that XRP has a lot of potential. And from these search results, you can see that that is paired with XRP and the next gold rush as well. And then we also have HSBC and Metaco, which they are now partnered with, and Metaco is owned by Ripple. And this was just announced recently. So HSBC, Ripple backed Metaco to launch tokenized custody service next year, and this will be for 2024. And if all of that news is not enough for you in terms of XRP dominating banks, well, if you have a look over here, currently over 40% of the world's top 100 banks have been linked to Ripple, including HSBC, which we mentioned, Bank of America, Japan Post Bank, and Santander. Bear in mind that there are NDAs in place and banks might be connected to Ripple via other integrators. The XRP takeover has already begun. Don't forget that XRP is also doing CBDCs as well, so it has its pilot projects, and with one of them being the National Bank of Georgia, who have recently selected Ripple. So now let's have a look to see what Brad Garlinghouse has said about the case today.
Ripple has had 3 consecutive victories over the SEC on this. First, the judgment on July 13th saying very clearly XRP is not in and of itself a security. Second, the denial by the court for their request for an interlocutory appeal. And third, the dismissal with prejudice, the allegations against Chris Larson and myself. So, one of the things that people talk about is one of the definitions of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and thinking you'll get a different outcome. The SEC is doing the same thing over and over again, and they think, I guess, they're going to get a different outcome. At some point, and you and I talked also backstage about a Grayscale also had I think, an important victory in the United States about the Bitcoin ETF, where the judge, again, this is a federal judge talking about a federal agency in the SEC saying, quote, the SEC is being arbitrary and capricious. Generally, judges tend to be pretty, down the middle and try to not be dramatic. Like, those are damning words. So I think at some point the SEC has to step back and realize that their approach of regulation through enforcement, let's just bring lawsuits, that has to break.
So walk me through the next steps in this case. Today was the deadline for the briefing schedule for remedies. The SEC wants something like $770 million in disgorgement.
Yeah. What
happens next?
Well, I in a session that I did in Washington yesterday, I made the joke around, I'd like to see the Vegas odds on, what could be what's called the remedies from the case. Look, I think the SEC, in my opinion, has lost sight of their mission to protect investors. And the question is, who are they protecting in this journey? And it turns out that the judge will make a decision about remedies. We actually welcome that. I think that in this case, you look at what investors were harmed, and you also have to look at the securities laws and understand, are there exemptions for institutional and accredited investors and things like that? But look, I think it is a positive step for the industry, not just for Ripple, not just for Chris and Brad, but for the whole industry, that the SEC has been put in check in the United States. And I'm hopeful this will be kind of a thawing of the permafrost in the United States for really seeing an amazing industry that has immense potential thrive in the largest economy in the world.
And so from that speech, the main takeaway is that Brad Garlinghouse said the judge will make a decision about remedies. And so what I personally infer from this, that means that they have not yet come to a settlement, as they said that they welcome for the judge to make the decision. But again, we do have the final decision, which is April 2024. And so we do have many months of this being drawn out. So let's have a look at the price action for today. We are currently at 65 cents. We are down a bit and the volume is trading at 2.1 billion. For the volume, we're down by 31%. For the price action right now, I'm not really concerned that much, as Ripple has taken that massive dip that we saw yesterday from the 70-cent level, and I believe it is to do with the fact we haven't yet reached a decision for this settlement date. For now, as long as it stays above that 60-cent level, then we have maintained well above that resistance level and we are still staying strong. However, if we go below that and right back down to the 55-cent level, and then it may look like we might be dipping and falling back to the previous levels in October. Guys, if you want daily XRP coin news, subscribe to the channel and like the video as well.